welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy Christmas Eve on the 23rd of December. I do have an Advent gift to open, but I do also have another gift to open that was sent to me from Lady Dax. This arrived yesterday. But I think it arrived while I was filming the video. So I'm opening it on today's. I haven't got the best long scissors in here. So I'm using the first pair that I grabbed. So there we go. There we go. I can get in. Ooh. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Oh, Haribo. Haribo makes me happy. So a couple of packs of Haribo, my favourite one. So that is gratefully received. Thank you. Then we have, hand warmers. 2 hand warmers. I need to keep these away from Caris. She's just come from a warm country. But yeah, thank you for that. This one, Rebecca opened one end of the cracker to reveal the surprise. I'm interested in that little box as well, but I feel like these are in my hands. Okay, one end of the cracker. Oh, this is so cute. This is going on my tree. Ah, look at that. It's Mr. Snowman in a bottle. He's going up here. He's going up. I have a little shelf above here in my craft room. Oh, it's a diamond painted tag as well. Yeah, I have a little shelf on my craft room, that holds multiple different things. I've got a few other little crochet gifts and things are up here as well. It's got all sorts of little bits and pieces. It's my kind of little trinket shelf. But this is going on the tree for now. That is absolutely adorable. And then, look at that gorgeous little box. I feel like, are they like those little rubbers? I feel like this might have to house some jewellery in my bedroom. They are. They're erasers. The little erasers. They are adorable. Oh, some of these are so cute, but I'm trying to get hold of this one. Because this one is a little watermelon. Oh, that bee is adorable. Oh, and we got some frogs. I'm trying to see them all. Oh, strawberries in a couple of different colours. They are cute as anything. Thank you ever so much for those. They are adorable, and that little box is beautiful. That's going in my bedroom. And then we do have, a handmade card. Oh, I recognise him. So this is Merry Christmas card that has our Father Christmas from last year, and she says, wishing you a very happy Christmas and an amazing 2024. Thank you for all that you do for us. Lots of love from Paulette, aka Lady Dax, and Paula, aka Peachelli. Thank you so much to both of you. They are absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful little bits and pieces, so thank you so much for that. Love it. And the Haribo will be gone very, very soon. The rest won't. Okay, day 23 of our Advent is a little bit of a bigger one. It's actually been a topic of discussion a couple of times, this WIP and Waffle. But day 23 is your very own set of towel clips. There are a couple of different colours for these. So there are the grey, there is some that are 2 pink ones and some that are 2 blue ones. So there are a few different colours, but these are perfect for clipping your canvas to your easel. You can also use them when they're rolled up, so the rolled part can stick sort of inside the big clip part, or you can of course use them for towels and other things. I actually used these when I was cutting rolls of paper. When I needed to cut big rolls of paper, I would use these to clamp them to the table. So there are many uses for those towel clips, but that's today's Advent gift. And we're working on day 23. In fact, I am going to grab one of my already opened clips just to pin this one up a little bit taller. Even if it does sit on the diamonds, it does still hold it rather well. But we are on day 23, if I can get hold of it, which is the rest of our umbrella. I'm using another pen from Lathe Works. I have just put a fresh glue dot in this one, and this is our tray from November of 21. So this is a red one from them. I thought, let's go a bit red and Christmassy. Okay, so diamonds. Let me get some diamonds before I give you this home's biggest update. So, as many of you may know, I said that Caris was due home from Australia on the evening of the 22nd. And it was my plan to film this on the day of the 22nd before she arrived home. And I am indeed filming this on the day of the 22nd, ready to go up for the 23rd. But she arrived home last night. She arrived home, she actually changed her flight to 1 day earlier, only hubby knew. So all my babies are at home. So everything is feeling a lot more Christmassy. Caris loves wrapping presents. Well, we'll see how much she loves once she's finished, but she loves wrapping presents. So she is currently doing the wrapping I planned on completing today before she got home. So yeah, she's currently wrapping. I'm filming the last of my videos so that I can switch off for Christmas. Got a few orders to get out and in the post today, and then that's it. Postie doesn't visit me again until after Christmas. So that's sort of my cue to stop. So I'm doing today's video, the video for the 23rd now, and I will probably do the Christmas Eve video a little bit later on today, so that I get the whole weekend basically for Christmas. But yeah, it's definitely feeling more Christmassy. Does help that she's playing a lot of Christmas music. Everybody's finished work now, so it's Megan's first day off. Catherine she tends to work when she comes home from uni, so she's actually finished work until Boxing Day. And of course, once I finish, Lewis will also finish because he helps me out with stuff in the shop. So it's very nearly Christmas, everybody. I hope everybody else is getting that Christmas feeling, just a little bit, getting the Christmas buzz. But yeah, it's getting exciting times. Diana, she says, Rebecca, she says you are a rare jewel. She says she loves the detail you go into answering your viewers' questions. She says the explanation on the brain and seeing a particular car everywhere, if it's a car you're looking to purchase or have purchased, then you start seeing them all the time. She says that is so true. She says, but she just chuckled, she says, because I did an awesome job of the explanation. I'm glad it made sense to people. I can't even remember where I heard it, saw it, watched it, all the rest of it. But it definitely resonated and made sense to me because it's stuck in my head since then. Enough to be able to repeat it anyway. She said she loves watching my videos. She says you're so entertaining. Have a blessed rest of your week, she says, and she's looking forward to tomorrow's WIP. Well, I'm glad I could help. And now, when everybody knows why they start seeing a particular car, it is just the way we are built as humans. And it is bound to happen. And I think that's probably where some of the things, you know, where people say try and see the positive in things. Because if you do focus too much on the bads, then you're reminded of the bad more often. Whereas if you focus on the good, then you can be reminded of the good more often, because that's the way our brain works. Debbie, she says she's done all her wrapping and her daughter's wrapping, as she's working full time, and she loves wrapping presents. She says so for her it's not a chore. I normally do enjoy wrapping, provided it's not an awkward box and things. I think I would have quite happily probably, you know, just spent the time this afternoon wrapping up all the presents, but at the same point it's also a job I'm happy to pass on when I have other stuff that I also need to do. So I'm quite blessed that Caris is enjoying it and actually asked to do it this morning. So she has a few things that she wants to wrap herself as well, but yeah, it's a win-win for me, and the presents will be wrapped before Christmas Eve. Debbie also said, she says her daughter lives opposite her with her 3 grandsons, and she mentioned to me while she was wrapping up the stocking presents for the boys that she hasn't had a stocking since she lived at home. So she's done her a stocking this year, and she'll give it to her husband to hang by the fireplace when he goes down in the night to make their baby a bottle. She said she's so excited for her, and she hopes that she can pull it off and let it be a complete surprise for her. Oh, that'll be so nice. Catherine actually takes charge of mine and the hubby's stockings for Christmas. I do the kids and she does mine and the hubby's. She decided to take that on a couple of years ago as our present, and she's been doing it ever since. So it's kind of sweet, get all our little Christmas treats and things in our stockings. Debbie also said, she said, evening Rebecca, she said, so for the last few years we have had a tradition where all the daughters and all the partners and all the grandchildren come to their house for a buffet and a get together. She said it used to be on Christmas Eve, but now they've changed it to the 23rd. So that'll be today. So you enjoy your get together. If you manage to watch this before you get together. If not, I hope you did enjoy your get together. She said as all of her daughters find that Christmas Eve is a bit busy. Yes, with getting things ready for Santa, stockings, we used to put out the reindeer dust, all that sort of stuff. We used to go to my mother-in-law's Christmas Eve, and it did always seem like it was a bit crazy time to get everything in and get the kids to bed at a decent time. It's easier now because they don't, you know, they stay up later, but yeah, we'd have to do the reindeer dust, and then we'd have to phone, and then we phoned Australia, and then we'd do Christmas PJs, and then we'd try and calm them all down again and get them into bed. She says somehow it always happens to be at her house, She's always left with a mess to clear up. She says, never mind. She says she loves them being around, and it's a chance for all the cousins to get together. She says, have a lovely evening, and she'll see me tomorrow. Well, I hope you had an amazing day, and I reckon having it on the 23rd, if you do have a bit of a clean up, means that you can spread that out over Christmas Eve and not make it as big of a mad rush to get everything straight for Christmas morning. So probably make it easier for you as well. She also says, talking about Elf on the Shelf, her daughter got a beanbag open and spread it onto the living room floor and put 2 elves on the shelves in the middle of it. Her sons thought it was amazing. She said the room was empty as she was having a sofa delivered the following day. That's a good job. I remember we had a beanbag that split. It wasn't Christmas, but it split when my niece and nephew were here and they were younger. And oh, they absolutely loved messing around in the polystyrene balls. And I was just like, do you know what? Just do it. I'll clean it up later. I'll clean it all up later. Just let them have fun. Let them enjoy the fact that this beanbag has managed to split itself open. And yeah, they had the time of their lives messing about with these balls, that little polystyrene balls that you find for ages afterwards, because it seems to take an eternity for them to actually disappear. Bev says, happy birthday to Caris. Thank you. I have told her about all your well wishes, your happy birthday wishes, so she can go and have a look at them when she gets a minute. She's actually quite jam-packed and has fit in, surprising a couple of people with the fact she's back a little bit earlier today. She says it's her daughter's on Christmas Eve. She said our timing is impeccable. Yes, Caris was actually due on Christmas Eve, but she was actually a few days earlier, which I'm kind of glad of, to be fair. She said she got an adorable dark gold plushie heart for her Advent gift. And she put it on her tree as soon as she opened it. She says she's not going to lie. She actually thought it was a pincushion when it was in the bag. It could be double. Decoration now, pincushion later. It will work. She says, hope everyone has a lovely evening. Yes, I hope everybody is having a lovely warm-up to Christmas. I've just finished my last pot of white, so I've just got one more pot. It's not a full to the brim, but got one more pot of white, so I reckon I'm going to have loads left. Anne says happy birthday to Caris. Thank you. So does Lady Dax. She says she used to love this time of year. She says when all the kids were home. She said now it's just me and P Jelly, but we do find things to enjoy. She said in the Advent she made up for her. She was tickled with her Polly Pocket toy. She says, who remembers them? Yes, my girls had a Polly Pocket. They actually had and loved. There used to be a Polly Pocket set with magnets in the bottom, and you could, move Polly Pocket around her sort of magnetic worlds and sets. And it actually the whole range got recalled due to the magnets. But I think my girls had they'd been playing with it, they'd played with it loads, but it had become a toy that they'd sort of stopped playing with a couple of months before the recall. So they were more than happy for them to be sent back, and then they could use the voucher that they got from them, I think it was a voucher, and go and buy new toys. So I think they got their lifetime's worth out of that toy anyway, for what ages they were, and they were more than happy to trade them in, but they did enjoy them while they had them. She says she also got a retro game things, like Space Invaders. She says, as for some of the things she got me, she got an inflatable Zimmer frame and an inflatable water walking stick. She says, you've just got to love her. Shocking, shocking, P Jelly. Funny, but shocking. You'll have to think up a different theme for next year. Maybe you should get her things for anti-aging cream and things, Lady Dax, you know, while she'll be getting older next year. Get her all the hints and tips and things passed down. Susan, she says, firstly, she wants to wish Caris a happy birthday. She says she can't believe that we're coming into the home stretch. I know, as soon as it hits the 20s on the Advent, I realise how little amount of time that we have left. Because, of course, we only go up to the 24th, or in last year's case, the 25th. I sort of realise how little time there is. It's like, oh no, it doesn't go to 30. We do stop soon. And even now, as I'm doing this, I can't quite believe I've only got section 24 to go as well. It's like, really? Is it that close? And it is. But then I keep telling myself, no, Christmas is Monday. Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Christmas is Monday. So it's like, okay, we have got a bit of time. And then it's like, actually, no, we've really not. So, yeah, my mind keeps playing the we have loads of time, no, we don't kind of game. She said Christmas is not her thing, and usually it's a very hard time for her. She said coming to these videos every day and working on her diamond painting makes it go so fast, she says, but it also lightens her heart and makes it easier for her to get through. She says, so thank you for that. She says, and thank you to you and your family for everything they do to bring us items that we love so much. She said, see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, Susan. I know Christmas can be a hard time for many, for some, sometimes even for all, sometimes battling down, you know, the hard parts that hit throughout the day due to various people you can't see, for whichever reason, distance or loss, can just make it hard. Sometimes not happy Christmases try and spoil our future Christmases. All we can do is make the best of you know what we have and try and focus on the good. Try and focus on the little kids. A lot of the time, just watch the kids. Just sit back and watch them, and just enjoy their enjoyment. If you can't, enjoy your own. Ina says, hello everyone. She says she's a little behind again. She said, is it bad that she doesn't feel much Christmassy this year? No, I don't think you're the only one. Ina, it's taken me a lot this year. She said her sister's mother-in-law passed away last Saturday, so 3 days ago when she made the comment. She says, and we always celebrated Christmas together. Well, that's a very close amount of time to try and come to terms with not only a loss, but also Christmas changing, if that makes sense. Because it is different when you lose ones that you spend Christmas Day with. It can very much make Christmas very different from what you had, and I think it takes a year or two to find the balance of different. maybe, of whether things need to be different or whether things need to be the same. I know when we lost my mother-in-law, we did something completely different for the Christmas after, and it was very weird. Made for a very weird Christmas, and then the decision was made that we would go back to what we were used to at Christmas, and it just sort of, it broke that up a little bit, but yeah, it's just weird anyway, isn't it? She said 2 months ago, she said she was still very healthy when they celebrated her husband's 80th birthday, so they're still in shock that she passed away so quickly. She also says because she was in the coma, we didn't feel like putting our tree up or decorating our house. She says, sorry for this sad comment. No, I know it's a sad time for you. It's a big change to have to go through, especially when it's not expected. When something comes out of the blue, it gets you at any time of year, but even more so if it, in effect, changes the Christmas plans that, of course, we all think about for many more months before Christmas is actually here, even if the preparations start closer to the time. So be kind to yourselves, use it as a reminisce. Don't expect it to be any more than it is going to be. Don't put any expectations on Christmas this year, would be my advice. Still get together, still reminisce about Christmases past, but don't expect anything from Christmas, because if you start expecting, it's not going to happen. Whereas if you go with the flow, you may have a better time than what you thought, especially if you've got some fond memories that you can share. Betty said, happy birthday to your daughter, Caris. Thank you. Madison says, do you think you will put PHP on the currency in your shop? Which currency is that? PHP currency. Philippine peso. I can have a look if that is something that we can do. There is a certain amount of currencies, of course. The list is quite vast, but I'm not sure if that is one, but that's definitely something that I can look at. If not, you can do a quick Google, because our shop currency conversion is only an estimate on that day's rates. It's not a this is how you will be charged. You are still charged in Great British pounds. But I can definitely have a look if that is an option. In fact, let me pop it on my little to-do list for January. Add PHP currency. And I'll put a question mark, as I say, it's not something that I can guarantee, but it's definitely something that I can see if that's a currency we can add. We went sort of by the main countries that ordered from the shop to try and get, you know, a good range of the currency conversion that will help people. But if we put all currencies that were available, then it can be harder for people to find their own. So we'll definitely find out if we can add that one, and if we can, we will. Jerry says happy birthday to Caris. She also said she was trying to finish her diamond art studio before the trial period was over on markup, but she went ahead and purchased for the year. Well, that gives you a very valid reason to do some more. Once you've finished, enjoy the process. Take your time with it. You're not on a time crunch anymore. So enjoy your time doing it. And maybe you do something else with some sort of pattern later on in the year too. Right, I've just done all of that, and yet again I haven't done my rhinestones. She also says that she uses markup on her old Android tablet. So There you go. If anybody's got Android and wondering, do check up there, because if that's the one you like, then you may well be able to use it too. Okay, stick, rhinestones, stick. She also says, she says another comment from me, sorry. She says she has all of her gift shopping done. They're all sitting on her dining room table, and her tree is up, though it's not decorated. She asked her boss if she could take tomorrow and the next day off, considering she'll be off work the 4 days after Christmas. But her boss is allowing her to work from home for the next 2 days to help her get everything done that she needs to get done. She said makes it much easier as her commute is shortened by 45 minutes one way to 0. There you go. That hour and a half, it's amazing what you can get done in an hour and a half. If it's an hour and a half that you didn't expect to have, it's amazing how much it can help. She says she still has to go grocery shopping to get the finger foods for Christmas Eve and whatever else they're going to have for Christmas. Friday is a half day at work, so she'll have to come home and clean house, as her sister-in-law and family will be over on Saturday. Well, you have an amazing time, albeit a busy one. Have an amazing time, and don't forget to take a minute to breathe and just take a breath and say what's done is done and what isn't done isn't done, and enjoy the time you have with everybody. Right, I'm actually not putting that one on there. I put one on the bottom, but I think I'm actually better just spreading those out a little bit and making them work that way. Right, let me do my across the top. Frame this bad boy in. Kim, she says she's not gotten any presents wrapped either. She says she predicts she'll be having a present wrapping frenzy on December the 24th. Well, if needs must, that's what we get done, isn't it? She says she always figures she has plenty of time, and then she realises that she's actually out of time. Yes. She says she's a procrastinator and she knows it. And you're owning it as well, Kim. So take validation in that. You're owning your procrastination. She says, of course, she's normally in a rush, so she's not known as a pretty wrapper. She's known in the family as a lover of tape, and no box will nicely slide out of the wrapping. The wrapping is taped to the box. She says, don't think that you'll get the box open without scissors or a knife either. She says that sucker is taped down on all 4 sides. Love it. She says you want what is inside that present, so you'll have to work to get it. Put in the work and you'll get the reward. That's what Kim's saying. Love it. But you know, it is what it is. And sometimes you do need to tape the wrapping paper to the box to have a hope of being able to wrap it at all. Rose, or Ross Evans, says, hi Rebecca, she's enjoyed listening to me. She put my channel on shuffle, and when each one finishes she hits pause and she does a chore around the house. Then when she finishes she comes back and repeats. I love that. It's like your own version of adverts. I used to do it back in the day when the kids were younger. The house was a mess. Things just weren't happening fast. I used to, in an evening, once the kids had gone bed, I would pop something on the TV, purposefully on a channel that had adverts. So as soon as the adverts came on, I would go to do something. So I'd often put the dishes, we didn't have a dishwasher then, so I'd put the dishes in hot water, really hot water, with washing up liquid, put them on to soak, clear a few bits off the side. Once the advert's finished, I'd go and sit down and watch, you know, the next section of the programme, and then when the adverts came on again, the water would still be warm, and I would wash up whatever dishes had been left to soak in the bowl, and if there was more dishes than that, then I'd put the next lot in to soak and do it again, because it's amazing how long, when you put hot water in, it can actually stay warm for quite a while, for you to get quite a few, you know, loads of watching a TV show, especially when the adverts would come on only for 10-15 minutes. And sometimes I'd be amazed how much I actually got accomplished doing it that way. I'd get so much more accomplished than, you know, telling myself I'm going to do an hour's worth. I'd probably get more done trying to race those 3 minutes for the adverts. Those were the days. Crystal, she says, happy birthday, Karis. She says she's just caught up. She was 14 days behind. Wowzers. She says she's just caught up in 2 days. She loves everything in the Advent. And she says she will admit that when she opened day 4, she said after waiting for months, she gave in and opened them all. Love it. And she says, have a Merry Christmas to all of the AMZ family and community. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed them. Even if they were all opened on day 4. I'm glad that they brought you smiles. Margaret says, hi Rebecca. She says she's framed the little picture Christmas painting from the Advent and put it in the sixth form cafe where she works. She says all of the students love it. She said so she thinks a lot of new people will be joining the diamond art world. That's the way to do it. Get them hooked while they're young. Get them hooked when they need that stress relief. Best way to do it. Cat Lady said she just went on to check the list of prizes, but it means, she says, she has to enter again, and she doesn't want to be thrown out. She says, so how does she look at it? You just need to scroll down a bit further. So the list of the prizes is before, it's just underneath where you hit enter now. I've popped the list of the prizes there. Somebody has let her know. Inga did let her know, so I'm glad you've been able to find them. Mysterious Days, she says, happy birthday, Karis. She says she's a writer and she may very well, she said, end up using that name for an original character. She said inspiration comes from everywhere and anyone. Love it. Well, I got the name from friends. It's sort of friends of my parents. I used to play with the kids. The kids were a bit younger, but yeah, like I used to keep an eye on them at times over holidays and events and things, and they were Welsh, so they had quite a few Welsh names. I think one of their sons was called Geraint, and Ailsa was also one of their daughters' names, and Caris, and what was the other one? I think the other one was a little bit more common between Welsh and English. I know it began with a K. But yeah, it was the name Caris. I always loved it. Ever since sort of I heard it, and it was a little bit different. And yeah, it popped into my head when I was pregnant with Caris. And Will liked it too. So we went with it. But yeah, it is a name that crops up every now and then. There is somebody I follow on Instagram. She does actually live in Wales. But it does crop up as a name every now and then. I used to work with somebody called Caris, but it's nowhere near as popular as many other names. Mysterious Day, she also says she is getting into the groove with the Diamond Art Studio Advent. She's about to start day 7. She knows she's way behind, but she is enjoying the process and she doesn't want to rush it. Today, she said she finally finished wrapping presents since she had the 20th and the 21st off work. She goes back on the 22nd, but then she has until the 26th off. She says she can't wait until Christmas. She says it's so soon, less than a week. She said it doesn't feel real. I feel like the last few years, Christmas Day has not quite felt real. Like it has been, but it's also been one of these, you know, you don't quite realise. I suppose it does, it sort of creeps up on you, but it doesn't. Like, you know it's coming. And you know it's going to be the days, but it's also, yeah, it's also just another day. Just another same kind of day, you know, like family gathering kind of day, but also not. It's hard to explain. Very hard to explain. Bev, she says, hi everyone. She says it's 20th of December and she's just started day 16 of her Diamond Art Studio Advent. She says she's not going to get this finished for Christmas, am I? Not unless you have a few days to dedicate. She said, and she had such plans of doing this one and mine. She says, never mind. She says, the Diamond Art Studio should be finished this year, and she's putting mine into a display book so she doesn't have to get it done for a specific date. She says she's got the 12 months of journals, but the thoughts of her precious paintings being chucked in her bag and stuck on her journal horrified her, so she changed her mind. She says, will you be doing journals next year? She said it would be amazing if you did. She said she hopes everybody has a lovely evening. I'll definitely pop it on our list to do some form of journal, diary, something like that for future years. It's definitely something that we're more than happy to look into, especially, you know, if they are enjoyed and used by many. We may be able to look at potentially putting the upgraded logbook covers on them and stuff as well. So I will pop it on a request list for something that we can look into making sure we have for next year, even though it's not linked to the diamond painting next year. Right, Liz, she says, oh, hang on. Let me change my colours over before I try and do 2 things at once. Right, number 6. So she says she finished work today and she doesn't go back and until the new year. So this was on the 20th. She says a well-deserved break. Well, you enjoy it, Liz. Well and truly. So nice to be able to get time off before Christmas. She says she has blinds being fitted tomorrow upstairs, including her office/craft room. and their bedroom, and also the conservatory, she said. So she needs to clear windowsills and ensure that there is clear access to the windows, which is always harder than it seems. She says Friday the new car is going into the garage to have a tracker fitted and her personal number plate put on. Woohoo! She says we're going to the Meadow Hall shopping centre to fill in some time and pick up some last minute bits for Christmas, veg for Christmas dinner, etc. She said, hope you managed to get all the presents wrapped before Christmas Eve. She said she remembers as a child, her dad always wrapped presents on Christmas Eve, and he would do it in the bedroom, which was clearly marked as a no-go zone while he was doing it. And she would be cheeky and knock on the door, open it a crack, though she would never see anything as she kept her eyes firmly shut. Probably wasn't the best move, she said, so close to Christmas Day, but it was fun. I'm sure it was something that your dad expected as well. It's like, who out of all is going to knock on the door? There's always one. Most parents tend to know which one that will be as well. You realise how, you always wonder sometimes some of the things you got away with as a kid, how you ever did, because as a parent you know exactly what that child's doing. Right, fifth. No, not fifth, number 5. Too many dates. Too many dates going round in my head now. Melissa, she said, hi Rebecca. She said, Susan commented about having a WIP and Waffle every day. She said it made her think about the song, I Wish It Could Be Christmas, every day. She said, so with that, she said, WIP and Waffles, it's a nice thought, she said, but it'd soon get like, she says, if you know what I mean. Yes, it is exciting doing the WIP and Waffle every day, and I do love doing December and June, but I do get it. Like there would be people who would watch every day, and I know that if I did it, they would get watched. But I do also think if it was the same type of video all the time, there would get a different point in time for each person, where, you know, it maybe just became a bit too much. Gail, she says, she's with me. She says the holiday is too close. She says she loves watching my videos every day this month. She purchased an advent calendar, she said, and it was amazing. She says, thank you for all your hard work. Well, thank you. I'm glad you've all enjoyed the advent calendar. Makes me excited to start working on next year's in January. Lady Dax, she says she can't believe Christmas is so close and the solstice is even closer, which, yes, the solstice yesterday as you're watching this, today as I'm filming. So glad the days are going to start getting longer. Things start going in the right direction. She says, roll on the longer days again. Yes, well and truly. Give us those longer days. Give us that more sunshine. We thrive off sunshine. She says, as for names and being shocked, she says, when you hear your own one, she says she gets totally amazed when she hears anyone say Paulette. She said, so come on, are there any more Paulettes out there? She says, happy holidays, everyone. Trying to think off the top of my head. There is definitely some other Paulettes as customers, whether they are on YouTube or commenters on YouTube, I couldn't say. So maybe the whole username being different to the person's name can get extremely confusing for me, because it can be bad enough to remember one name, never mind trying to remember two. Girl Diamond, she says, thank you so much, Rebecca, for this wonderful December WIP and Waffle. You're welcome. She said it's been so nice to join in every day. She says she hasn't always been able to diamond paint, but she's been taking the time to listen and take some time out every day. She says having renovations going on and 2 kids to entertain and look after has taken precedence. They always do. Those kids, they always end up taking precedence. It's a good job. We love them. Oh, nearly missed an R. It's the only thing when it's scattered, I end up missing bits. Right, I'm going to do the other blue before I pick another colour. She says she's found going to see the Christmas lights and playing Christmas carols has really helped it feel more like Christmas. She says, enjoy your eyebrow and hair appointment. Wishing you and your whole family and the whole Admiral Zest followers a safe and Merry Christmas. Oh, thank you. I did enjoy my hair appointment. Eyebrows for me, well, as you're watching this, it would have been this morning. The only thing I'm not looking forward to with that one is the fact that it is in town. And town centre at Christmas. It's not the nicest place to be. But I'm sure it will be fine, and I will do as quick an in and out as I can. Busy Lizzie, she says, what made you think of the name Caris? She also said, is that how it's spelt? Yes, how you spelt it on your comment was right. She says she's never heard of that name before. She said, but it's a pretty name. So I did mention earlier in this actual video, I've answered that one, that yeah, it was somebody I knew as a child had that name. She says her name is Elizabeth, and her granny, when she was younger, would always spell it with an E in the middle. So Elizabeth. So with an E there rather than an A. She says since her last name can also be used as a first name. When she was in school, teachers kept calling her by her last name. It happened so much that she just kind of went along with it. Just gave up. She says, luckily this was over a decade ago. She says almost 2 decades ago now. She says, talking about Christmas, she finished her shopping on the 13th of December and wrapped up the remaining presents on the 15th of December. She says since then she has been free to diamond paint all day. Wow, love it. She says we're having Christmas on Christmas Eve instead this year, as her mum is working Christmas evening. She says this is the only time, she says, that she can think of that they've had Christmas the day before. She says, so this year it will feel different. But looking on the brighter side, she said on Christmas Day, she will have all day to diamond paint. So win-win. You will have the most relaxing Christmas day of anybody if you get to sit and diamond paint all day. Boxing Day's our relaxing day. That's our stay at home, take a breath and chill kind of day. Sometimes Boxing Day is preferred. I love Boxing Day. Jerry, she said, hi everyone. She said today is her youngest niece's birthday. She says she's almost ready for the holidays. The tree has been up, she said, since Sunday. They decorated it and wrapped all of the gifts today. She says she has to go to the store a little later to pick up the ingredients for her spanakopita, which I probably said wrong. She said tomorrow we will be doing the laundry and cleaning house. She said she works on Friday, but it'll only be half a day. So they'll probably shop for food that they'll need for the weekend / Christmas then. She said happy holidays to all, and a very special happy holidays to all the Admiral's Est crew. Thank you. All the Admiral's Est crew is back together again, so I'm sure it will be an amazing day or an amazing holidays. It's definitely got louder in the house, that's for sure. Right, have I got all the threes? This is a very, very bitty one. It is taking me a little bit to determine if I have got them all or not, but I am going to keep going by colour because I do find it easier to sort of focus on one colour. So I'm now on the red, if they actually want to stick. Susan, she says this waffle has a lot of good information in it, so that's the one from the 20th. She said she went and took a look at the prize list, she said, and she wanted to say how incredibly generous it is of you. She said it looks like a lot of wonderful diamond paintings. There are some amazing diamond paintings in there. I say they're all ones that I like / love. They're all paintings that I like. They're just, I just don't have the space and the time for all of them, especially when other ones keep coming out and grabbing my attention. She says getting metal multiplacers, she says, was pretty cool too. She says when you were talking about names, she says she remembers a funny thing that happened to her in Starbucks. She says there was a very young man serving me, and when he asked my name, I said Susan. She says she has never had in her life anyone mispronounce it or misspell it. You mustn't have been in Starbucks enough, because you can always find somebody in Starbucks to spell something wrong. She says until then, she says when he called out my name and looked at my cup, it read Susan, S-U-Z-E-N. He'd spelled it phonetically. She said she couldn't believe it. She said anyway, she still laughs about it when she remembers. She says thank you for another wonderful waffle. She says see you tomorrow. Yeah, if you have a common name and you want to have your name mispronounced, misspelled, whichever, just go to Starbucks once a week. They'll get you. Might take you a while, but they'll get you. Beth, she says she's missed a lot of the Advent event because she's been under the weather. Ooh. She says also she is way behind on her baking. She says, and she needs to wrap the presents. She says, where did December go? Well, one, I hope you're feeling better. Two, you have an absolutely perfect excuse for everything not being done. The rest of us that wonder where December's gone haven't got that excuse. So use that reason as much as you possibly can get away with. And know that none of us quite know where December's gone. It has disappeared like all the other months of 2023. All the months that have not had a COVID restriction of some sort or lockdown of some sort, have disappeared into the ether. I'm sure the months have gotten smaller. So rest assured, you are not the only one. You just have a good reason. Nova Scotian Hiker said in their grade school there were 3 Ruths. She's one. She says at least, she said we had different last names. She says one is a second cousin. She said, and they possibly were both named after her grandmother. She says there were also 3 Heathers, and 2 of them were Mackenzies. One went by Heather and the other one went by Heatherly. She says, hadn't thought of those times in years. It's amazing what you remember when a topic of conversation comes up, isn't it? Just over something else. And that's what I love seeing coming out in these WIP and Waffles as well, when people, you know, say their memories. Like when we were talking about Woolworths, I think was Woolies was one that ran through a WIP and Waffle event a while back, and it stirred up memories of people going into Woolworths with grandparents and parents and the things you used to be able to get there and all that sort of stuff. Excuse me. And now we're getting it with the likes of names and how it was in school and things. And yeah, I just love the fact that it brings up memories for people that they've not necessarily thought about, and can sometimes just make you smile because they're just, you know, either happy memories or just different memories as well. Syncub says beautiful canvas, thank you. Lily, she says checkerboard takes no longer, you'll still applying the same amount of diamonds. I think we have to disagree on that one. Yes, it is the same amount of diamonds, completely agree with you on that one. However, I find that checkerboard is longer personally. When you're doing checkerboard, because you are trying to ensure that your diamonds are straight and as straight squares, more so when you first start working on square paintings. I have got quite fast and in effect quite accurate with my square placement, but ensuring that every other one is placed square when you do the first lot of diamonds does take more time. It might only be a fraction of a second per one, but by the time you add up how many diamonds you've placed, it does take a more noticeable chunk of time. And while it is quick when you're filling it in, like I've just done then, and you're filling in the checkerboard, while that is quicker, I still find that my step method is just as quick as the filling in method. The difference is I get to do that all the time. So that's just where we'll have to agree to disagree on that one. I find checkerboard takes longer, whereas I find when doing steps, because I'm not having to do that, am I placing it right, am I placing it straight, and it gets straightened up by the diamonds I'm putting them against, I save that small fraction of a second that over the course of the diamonds adds up and equals me saving time. Right, I've got 3 more diamonds. The next comment is a longer one, so I will save that till next time. Plus my battery is flashing at me. So there we go. Day 23 is done. There is always one WIP and Waffle. It does that to me on. And I should be glad it waited that long until the 23rd. But anyway, yes. Day 23 is done. We have one more to do. So I'm going to take that off and take those off so that I am ready for tomorrow. Try and make that just go a little bit straighter. I don't mind it hanging over a bit. So we've got the rest of the camera to do tomorrow, ready to take pictures on a Christmas Day. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me for this waffle, and for the last time this year, I will speak to you again tomorrow.